Uh, you know what we can get into next? I'm really excited for this. This is a young man who has been. He's a long time watcher, first time caller kind of guy, and I'm excited to have him. So let's say hello to Gunther Ashcraft.
Hi, gentlemen. Thanks for having me. It's a bit past my bedtime, but I'm excited to be here.
Happy to have you, Gunt.
Is that Australia here?
Guilty as charged. How are you today?
Beautiful. I'm doing well. How are you, Tom?
Oh, I'm lovely. I did have a bit of a quandary I wanted to run by you, gentlemen.
Sure.
Run away.
Yeah, let us know.
Run it by us, bud.
Well, I'd like a little bit of advice because, you see, I'm a marathon runner, and I've been doing it for years. I've got a couple crates of these NipStrips that I'm looking to offload.
Oh, God.
The reason I don't have a use for them anymore is the last marathon I run, like 26 miles. I made the mistake of falling asleep afterwards.
Right.
And the hot sun and the salt made my nipples dissolve.
Oh, God.
For 'em, so I was hoping you could help me.
Dissolved?
Gone. Unfortunately. I'd show you, but this is, a family show.
Yeah. Oh, my God. I don't think I could handle something like that. The imagery alone.
It's
Ew.
Was there a dust left behind, or they just vanished completely?
There was a residue. It was some sort of cured material, but I didn't want to, keep it around. I burnt it immediately. But
You soldered off your nipples holes.
yeah, what's it? Soldered.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sort of like you would do to a rope, like a cheap piece of rope. You just cut it and then burn off the tips there and get it all sealed up nice and tight.
Yeah, cauterized.
That's
Like
right.
a-
That's yeah.
You like barbecue? It's like burnt ends. It's,
Yeah, I like a burn ends.
Like a brisket sandwich with the little ends in there.
the
Oh my
texture.
God, that's delicious! I would eat that right now, regardless of any other things we've talked about very recently.
If you know it was burnt nipple flesh, you might have eaten it.
Hold on, are you saying that?
Right.
Are you saying that occasionally burnt nipples make their way into the meat supply?
We were in a quarantine, and times are tough. And if you haven't tried nipple meat, it's the other baloney. Let me tell you.
Oh, God dang. Nipple meat does sound awful tender, I'll tell you that. I mean, my favorite part of a cow is, any animal really where you're eating the meat. It's the muscles that get worked a lot. They're real tender, and I feel like eroded nipples are some of the most tender meat that you could have out there, I'd imagine.
It's all gristle, but it's worth the calories you burn chewing it,
And attitudes change over time. There was a time when lobster was a peasant's seafood, and now you go to a fancy restaurant and you want to order lobster to impress your date. That's in 30 years, in 100 years, people could go into a restaurant and order nipples.
Hot nipples,
Yeah.
raw bar nipples.
You could get a fried nipples, you
Shrimp
get nipple casserole,
nipples.
This is a true story. Once I went
nipples
to
and gravy.
Disneyland, and when you go on the tram from the parking lot to the actual park, our little tram guy, he was talking to his speaker, and it was around Thanksgiving. So the whole 5-minute ride, all he did was tell us different kinds of turkey he was wishing for us on our meal. He was like fried turkey, boiled turkey, turkey and gravy, mashed potatoes and turkey. If I could get him on this show, Gunther, would you return and we could have both of you on here and we could just rattle off all the different kinds of nipple preparations?
Swap recipes. That sounds great. A little holiday
Perfect.
special. I'm down.
I'll try and get him. We're in San Antonio and he's somewhere in California, but
Yeah, we can figure
we'll
it
make
out.
it work.
Listen, Gunther, I'm looking up nipple-related objects on eBay as we're talking, and there's a lot of nipple rings and a lot of nipple plating and nipple cover-up pads, so you're not going to have any trouble selling that stuff, but especially, you said you got a pallet of them you have to unload?
Oh yeah, and these are the best. Being a previous marathon runner, I've been through my fair share. I've tried Band-Aids, they don't work. I've tried like clear Band-Aids. These are the best. They're premium nips.
Yeah, I mean, everything here is selling hundreds and hundreds of different nipple cover-up devices and slap-ons and whatever have you. I got a pitch for you, bud. I think it might be interesting, and you're kind of cornering the market. What about a book of nipple-related recipes?
Times are tough right now.
I mean, the meat supply chain, I don't know what's going on down in Australia, but the meat supply chain here in the U.S. is about to be done for, and we could probably all use something different. I know one time I was doing a buddy of mine's bachelor party, and as a gag gift, we gave him that book on how to make recipes with a bunch of different kinds of cum.
Yep.
And I think this could actually be a more practical version of that.
I think so, because men don't need their nipples.
No.
Think about it.
Absolutely do not need our nipples. We might as well just cut them off and sauteed nipples, nipples Creole, nipple kebabs.
You could baste them. You can put them in a breading, sort of like a nipples Wellington.
If you cut them thin enough, they dissolve right in the pan.
Yeah, like a sliced garlic. You know, you slice the nipple up real nice with a razor.
Just like in that Australian classic, Goodfellas, with an exclamation point. You know, like the Australia movie with an exclamation point.
Did they overdub the Martin Scorsese film Goodfellas with Australian actors?
No, Hugh Jackman did all the parts.
Oh, okay. So it was
just
actor.
One Australian actor.
The Australian actor.
The one and only.
Australia.
Well, I think I saw that version one time on TNT, and there's that one scene where Joe Pesci, I guess it's Hugh Jackman, I should have even realized, because I thought it sounded funny, because he was going, you think I'm funny? Funny how? Funny like a clown? And I thought it was just the darndest thing.
I found it funny that the runtime was twice as long, because it took him so long to say everything, and that's already a long movie, so you're looking at 6.5 hours on TNT.
Did they also, I'm assuming they also, for the cartoon show Animaniacs, the sequences with the pigeons based off the characters from Goodfellas, I'm assuming Hugh Jackman also voiced them for the Australian.
Yeah, he swooped in there and did a little bit, little Animaniacs special. Animaniacs with an exclamation point.
Special. I love the way you guys are saying things.
What's that? There's like an ice cream brand, Yum, and they have a exclamation point. I think they're Australian too. I might be wrong though.
I know Yum Brands is what makes Taco Bell and Long John Silver's.
Oh, I'm wrong then. I've just seen Yum, and I was trying to paste it together.
Can you add exclamation point to the end of the label for those little nip slips or whatever they're called?
That's a great idea because that gets everyone more excited about the prospect of running and fitness during quarantine.
You should change it to NipStrips with the exclamation point.
And when you write that nipple cookbook, make sure you put an exclamation point at the end of the title. Stands out on a shelf. Stands out in an eBay listing.
You should add asparagus to most of these meals and have each meal be an exclamation point.
What about asparagus? That was not an Australian accent.
No. Something's happened. We've changed the timelines. I seem to have absorbed your accent. I don't know what's going on.
Earlier I said Tom and Gunther responded, so this is par for this. We're doing good.
Oh, crikey!
Your southern drawl is infectious. What can I say?
Asparagus could be the line part of an exclamation point, and the nipple could be the dot.
Oh God, yes.
Yeah, of course. Now, I think, unfortunately, we're having a ton of fun with you, Gunther, but we got to move on. We got one more guest, and the seminar is almost done. So, best of luck with your nipple cookbook and your NipStrips.
Exclamation point. I'll see you later.
Bye-bye now.
See you later.
Man, the chat is all about the nips. Shout out to people who are saying, I fucking go down on some fried nipples. That's a direct pull quote. I mean, you might as well put that on the back as a blurb, Gunther. I don't know if you tune into these. I'll send you some of these quotes. Nipple cookbook, don't let Martha Stewart steal that shit. God, darn tootin'. I thought you were going to say something else there, Michael, but I'll just move it along. I
every
guess.
once in a while, I will quietly do this to my microphone,
just to make sure that
Don't
we
be
can still hear the wonderful advice.